Today to speak and to discuss and to exchange ideas about an European region between the state of Italy and the state
to the German Reich, thus renouncing to all their belongings. This was one of the most dramatic pages in the history of South Tyrol, halted by the start of World War II. It is interesting to notice, if you have the opportunity to go to South Tyrol.
Trentino and South Tyrol experienced a complex and delicate 20th century in terms of identity. Belong respectively to the multinational Habsburg Empire and to the Italian nation state, these two provinces has been protagonists of important pages of history. From the time of the hated nationalism, the storm of the first and second conflicts, world conflicts, the South Tyrolean crisis after 1945, but also seasons of redemption, thanks to autonomy agreements and statutes that we are celebrating today, that provides South Tyroleans with extensive legislative and administrative powers to the protection of their own language and culture and to consistent economic development. A model that in these difficult times of the EU-facilitated dialogue between Serbia and Kosovo can be inspirational to find a sustainable solution to a long-term issue and at the core of the full normalization of the relationships between two countries.
The idea of this event is, or we got the idea in the planning of this event because this year is the 50th anniversary of the so-called Second Autonomy Statute, about which you will hear in the course of today. 2 anniversaries, and that's why the 2 embassies we got together in planning this event. And of course, I'm very pleased that we have 2 distinguished speakers here today from both countries, and I want to thank both Professor Giovanni Bernardini for accepting our invitation, and also Ambassador Helmut Tichy, who is not only the legal advisor of the Austrian Foreign Ministry, and a very experienced diplomat, but also one of the most prominent experts in international law in Austria.
And I'm especially thankful to the 2 embassies of Italy and Austria for the invitation to this event, which is very important since it proves that not only long and painful conflicts can be solved between 2 countries, but can also give birth to new forms of partnership and cooperation. And let me speak as a European citizen more than as an academic historian. This is a message we desperately need during these days in Europe.
Because I think international law has developed generally. In Europe we have conventions about the protection of minorities, we have soft law about the protection of minorities. So all this strengthens the legitimate interest of a state in the well-being of a key population in another state, a related population in another state.
I have asked myself what could be the role of academia and universities to overcome divisions within societies and as well to come to so-called European solutions. We know that dealing with the non-majority communities doesn't exist a single European model, but every model needs and should, for every model, be taken into consideration the specific characteristics. However, I think that academia, universities, but as well politicians should not stop to search for the so-called ideal typus for each particular case, how to solve and how to accommodate diversity. And I think that the challenges in this part of the world, not only in Kosovo, but in the Balkans, are similar to the challenges in different or in other European countries or in different continents.